what's going on? It's Greg Rob 20 here. I wanted to show you kind of an update video on the Axial SCX10. Show you what I have going on here with it. It's been a great truck so far. I'm very pleased with it. Had a few minor issues such as leaking shocks and the upper suspension link popping out, as I mentioned on my other video, but that has been resolved. What I actually did to the shocks is CA glued the bottom cap on, and that's worked just fine. I actually only did it on the front ones because that were the only ones that gave me trouble. Refilled them with oil and they've been great. I eventually will get some better shocks on it, but that'll be another project. Also, I put a washer on that suspension link, so that's been taken care of. That doesn't pop out anymore. But what I wanted to show you today is kind of how I relocated the electronics. The battery in this one comes in the front, as you guys know, as opposed to like a deadbolt, which comes in the back. And that works pretty good. I mean, that keeps your weight bias forward, but also what it does is if you use a bigger pack, I was using like a 5,000 milliamp Venom LiPo hard case. It's heavy, and the battery is way up here at kind of this angle, so you got a lot of top heavy. You got your weight up high, which you don't want. So what I've done, I'll go ahead and pop the shell off here. Put that to the side. What I have done is relocated the electronics to put the battery as low as I can get it. So let's tilt you down here a little more. Basically what you do, as you guys know, stock this rig comes with this battery tray up here in between the two body mount posts, kind of in between the shock towers, running this way. And this receiver box and speed control are mounted back here. They bolt down on this cross member and they kind of stick out here. The speed control is just held on to the receiver box with servo tape, so it's easy to separate those two. But what I've done is, starting with the battery tray, removed it from its stock location. It's screwed on these little standoffs, and I actually have it temporarily fastened with Gorilla Tape. So you guys are going to be saying by the end of this video, this truck is built with zip ties and Gorilla Tape, and that's partly true at the moment, but what I have plans for in the future are to 3D print a bracket to make this a more permanent, kind of cleaner, professional looking installation. But as you see, I also went to this 6,000 milliamp Nanotech battery. This is a Turnigy Nanotech. I'll pop it out here and show you guys. 25 to 50 C discharge, and it's very thin. If you compare that to a hard case, it's like 2/3 as thick, and it's light, and you get another 1,000 milliamps of capacity. And it will run this truck until you absolutely are just tired of running. It'll go over an hour easy. I haven't really fully discharged it with this battery, but we'll put that to the side and show you. As you can see, this is the normal Axial battery plate, but I have some Gorilla Tape around the middle there, and it goes around this cross member that runs between these two shock hoops. So it's that simple. Like I said, eventually I'll probably make a bracket that kind of goes across like one of the factory cross members and gives you, the ability to screw it on, screw this down, kind of like it did stock, but in this location. Now I know there are products out there to relocate the electronics. There's the Jevny Racing Tray. I think there's someone else who makes one, and that's okay. I mean, I'm sure those work great, but I wanted something I could do for basically free or very cheap, and so that's why I did this. Also, as you can see, I put my receiver box here. I had a little piece of carbon fiber laying around from a multi-copter build, I think. But it's just a flat piece, you know, 4 inches or so long, and I have it zip tied here to the shock mount, the bolt running through that mounts to the shock hoop. I have it zip tied on that, and then I have the receiver box zip tied all the way around. So as you can see there, you know, nothing fancy, simple zip ties. This is the speed control mounted kind of upright on its side, and it's sitting right on the bumper post. So, you know, the bumper runs through here. You got those posts right there. So it's a perfect spot to set that. The servo doesn't touch. As you can see, when I compress, you know, I still got plenty of room in there. Actually, the suspension links hit before the servo even comes close. So again, that's zip tied. So, you know, I got the receiver box from the back. I actually could have left it back there where it was, but you know, wanted to move things around, kind of switch spots with the battery and the electronics, and get the weight as low as I could. So, you know, if you look, factory, you had your battery up here. There's the center line of the heaviest part of the truck. I mean, this battery is essentially the heaviest single component on the truck, especially when you run a big hard case lipo. And you get the center line way up here. Well, now when you put it in, you got the center line of the weight right here below the top of the tire. So that results in a lot more stability. I mean, before, you could be just running along full throttle, which is not very fast on these, crank the wheel and the truck flips over. Now I can have the steering set much quicker, which is better for crawling, and still be able to just crank the throttle. And actually I can do donuts now with it on the gravel or the dirt, whereas before, trying to do a donut, it would just flip over, you know. So changing nothing else besides relocating this, now it gets the weight bias. It makes the rear end lighter, puts more weight on the front tires, which is also what you want for rock crawling, because when you're crawling and you get in a more almost vertical situation like this, you want the front to have more weight, because if you have more traction on the back tires than the front, you end up flipping on over sometimes. So that'll still happen, but the angle at which that happens is increased when you get the weight as low as you can get it. So like I said, it's just an update. I will do a closer shot here for you guys, and do some up close footage of the truck, showing you kind of how I routed the wires and stuff, and that'll be all for now. So let's go ahead and do some up close footage here. Okay, here we are, guys. Again, just showing you up close what's going on here. There's the battery plate. You can see where I relocated the power switch to. So with the body on, you can just reach under here, bam, turn that on real easy. There's my 3-way racing winch, as you know I put on. There's the speed control. The antenna comes out and actually goes through the through a hole in the body in the front, so that works out pretty good. It's a factory hole. See right there, the antenna goes through. Took the power wires for the motor, ran them along the frame. You can actually zip tie these, or otherwise, you know, attach them to the frame, but I left them just loose and routed up underneath there, right to the speed control. The factory wire for the LED lights is long enough to reach. You can see it goes through the factory retainers there. So everything's pretty nice and clean. When you put the body on, spin this around here and show you. When you put the body on, it goes right in front of that speed control, right behind the winch, just like it should. So none of this interferes with the stock body mounting on. So there you go. That is the Axial SCX10 update number 1, basically. But we have some more to come. One thing I noticed is these stock links are pretty flimsy. When you get on the throttle hard, they bend, and then the truck kind of does one of these numbers where you're on the throttle and the links bend and it goes sideways. Kind of throws your, one bends more than the other, and throws your suspension geometry all off, and the truck kind of walks sideways. So for higher throttle, more bashing type stuff, and for climbing too, to help you keep a nice straight line, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the links to the aluminum ones on this. Probably do the shocks eventually, and just go from there. So there's the Slash. I haven't really shown you guys much on that, but we're going to be doing some videos on that. Going to be updating. I got an STRC motor plate here. So, and that is red. RPM bulkhead for the front chassis suspension components. So the bulkhead underneath that the A-arms mount to. I've got the RPM front and rear bumpers on there. So I'll show you more about that on the Slash update. But for now, that's all. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.